Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danny Janae Show. I am Danielle Janae, aka Danny Janae, and you already know I got a lot to say. So let's get into it. You know you're evolving when those who haven't start attacking you. Let's talk about it. So this is something I know all too well. It's something I've experienced in the past. It's something I'm experiencing now. And one thing I can for sure tell you, it's one of the most uncomfortable feelings when you're evolving. It's like you're fighting the old person, and it's like you're fighting the old person away, and then you're fighting to get to that new person, and you're like stuck in an in-between phase. And like I said, when you're in that phase, it's just so uncomfortable. It's painful, it's confusing, it's all these things. And you really gotta understand the process and be patient with yourself. Another phrase I've used in my earlier videos, I've said, you gotta be patient with yourself when you're becoming somebody you've never been before. And you also gotta be so patient with the process and the pain and the uncomfortableness. All right, so yeah, and there's also three individuals, well, three things, because life isn't a person. But there's three things you got to look out for when you're going through this process. There's three things that are working on you. One is the devil. Whether you believe in him or not, he's out there, he's working on you. And the devil, and they're all testing you. And the devil's test is to see how far he can go with you. He's seeing, he's seeing if you're going to pass the final test. Like you're in the process, like I said, you're getting to the person who you want to be. You're doing the right things. You're being who you're supposed to be. But the devil doesn't want that to happen for you. So he is pushing you. He's pulling you. He's trying to make you as uncomfortable as possible. Trying to make you as pain, to have as much pain as possible. And yeah, that's the devil, right? And then there's life. Life is testing you to see how bad you really want it. Most people quit in this stage, right? When it gets too hard, a lot of people quit. When they feel weird, like I said, when it's uncomfortable for them, they quit. So life has a way of putting these tests in front of you to see if you really, really want it. If you're a person who really, really wants to change, you'll do it. No matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how painful it is, you'll succeed. And that's the test. It's a test you got to pass. And then the last test is God's test. So the devil's life, and now God's test. And God's test is to see if you trust him enough to pull you through that pain. Have the faith in him to see the best outcome later on, and trust him that it's going to come. A lot of people lose faith. That's also a part of life's tests. A lot of people lose faith in God in the process, the ones who truly believe in God. And, that's when you need to believe in him the most. Because people think faith is believing in what you can already see. I'm like, that's not faith. It's called seeing with your eyes. Faith is believing in what you can't see. And that's so tough for people. It's so tough for me. And you got to trust him. You got to trust the process. You got to trust yourself. But trust him first, and then actually you'll eventually learn to trust yourself as well. But you gotta trust him through this, because like I said, I don't know how people get through hard times without God, because it's literally draining. Depression is real when you don't believe in God. When you don't have faith in God, that is real. And y'all know, or maybe you haven't known, I said this in my old show, that I've been through depression. I've been there, and I know what it's like. It's like depression is another feeling that I feel like is not, you can't really describe it, but the best way I would say to describe it is that it's like a knife is in your heart, and you can't pull it out. You can't heal no matter how much you try, and it's the worst kind of hole. But when you believe in God, when you have faith, that'll pull you out. It's not going to be easy going just believing in him, but it's better. And the light is at the end of the tunnel when you believe in him. And you got to, in these moments, you got to, especially when you're evolving. Because like I did, the devil is attacking you nonstop. He's attacking you nonstop. Because he doesn't want you to grow. He doesn't want you to be a great person. He doesn't want you to fulfill your full purpose, to be a great individual. Because like I said, misery loves company. And that is the most miserable entity in this world. Spirit, whatever you want to call him. So yeah, you're gonna feel attacked. You're gonna feel crazy. You're gonna feel like, what am I doing? You're gonna start doubting yourself. You're gonna feel like, am I doing stuff right? If bad things are happening, then I must be doing something wrong. Not in this instance. Not in this instance. In this instance, you are, like I said, becoming another person. So not just these demons, not just life, not just God, but your old self is fighting you. That's another person that's attacking you. And the devil's self, your old self is fighting you too. And people that love you and care about you, like they are so used to the old person too. It could be your family too, that make you uncomfortable, and make you feel weird for becoming a new person, because they're so used to the old person. They love the old person. They've known that other person for so many years. It's uncomfortable also for them to accept the new person. I speak about this too all the time. When you're the black sheep of the family, when you go against the norm and evolve and start calling out toxic behaviors, it's mind-boggling. It's so shocking to people you care about and love, because it's like, well, what in the world? It's like, who is this person? Where did she come from? Or he, and they got to process it too for themselves. And the best of family members will walk with you through the process and love you no matter what. But from a lot of people, it's hard to accept. Because like I said, misery loves company. And if you have a miserable, toxic family, they're going to want you to be your old you. So they're going to fight. They're going to be like, what happened to the old you? You changed. When I went to Hollywood, one thing, when I moved to LA, people would call me Hollywood all the time. Because people I knew back in Virginia, because I have outgrown those people. It's not that I was acting Hollywood. I never act like it. People that truly know me, and even these people know I don't act like I'm better than anybody else, arrogantly. But I have evolved. And there's some certain things you can't entertain anymore when you're evolving into your better self. It's not being Hollywood. It's not switching up. It's not being fake. All terms people love to use. A part of the devil's tactic to make you, like I said, back into, or make you want to be back in those old ways. But no, I'm telling you right now, no, you're good. You're gonna pull through it. It always gets hardest when you're about to have a breakthrough. And the breakthrough may seem like it's a little ways away, but trust me, hard work always pays off. It always does. And it may take a month, 3 months, 6 months. Whatever God's plan is, we don't know. But you got to continue to grow. You got to continue to be good. Because giving up and remaining who you were, which could be a toxic individual, be somebody who lies constantly, somebody who, doesn't take accountability, somebody who isn't emotionally stable, those things are going to eat you up in the long run. You think you're experiencing a little pain now. Whew. A 40-year-old not able to control their emotions, it's going to be a tough life, my friend. This world eats emotions for breakfast. Eats them up and spits them out. So you gotta be able to pinpoint when that point in your life is, and don't be so taken back by it. And be able to determine whether or not you're evolving, or you're evolving into a good person, or continue to be a bad person, or evolving into a bad person. Bad things might be happening to you because you're evolving into a bad person. But one thing I think I can tell you to tell the difference whether you're evolving to something good or something bad, I think you'll see a balance. Like, people might be attacking you when you're becoming someone good, but you'll also see a bunch of people treating you with respect, or a little differently in some aspect, a little nicer, a little friendlier, a little more respectful. Like I said, you'll see those type of people too, whereas when you're all bad, you're not going to get that at all. Like I said in my other videos, you can't graduate yourself. You can't take these tests and be like, oh, I graduated. You gotta experience, you gotta have someone else that is not biased about you, that truly loves you and wants to tell you the truth, or from someone who completely doesn't know you perspective. Either or, someone who loves you but isn't biased, or somebody that has no involvement at all. You got to get their perspectives on your growth. Right? So, like I said, attacks come, but they're the hardest. They're the hardest in a certain type of way, which I'm going to explain and go into detail a little bit more. They're the hardest when you're about to evolve into someone greater. Now, you may ask, what kind of examples of this attack? What does this attack look like? Well, I'll give you some, because I've experienced this, like I said, and I know what they look like. So one of them is like old flings come back out of nowhere. Old boyfriends, old relationships, period, old partners, old colleagues, old friends that haven't talked to you for years. All of a sudden come out of the blue. They're hitting you up. They ask for a favor. They want to rekindle the old relationship. It'll be things like that. People out of nowhere will start wanting things from you and wanting to be around you. And you gotta not let those people in, because those people are gonna drag you back into that old person you're trying to evolve from. Especially the old flings, the old boyfriends and girlfriends. So many people think of those as a sign when old boyfriends and girlfriends come out that they're meant to be together. I can't guarantee you that's the case, but most times that's not the case. Okay, they're not the ones. They're testing you to play, because there was a reason you guys broke up. And if it was a solid reason, where you felt disrespected, or they didn't listen to your boundaries or whatever, you got to maintain those boundaries when they come months later, no matter how lonely you get, no matter how uncomfortable you feel. Because like I said, they're going to take you right back down with them, because misery loves company. Again, they do. They love it. They don't know anything else. Right? So, yes, steer clear of boyfriends just popping out of the blue, popping in like, hey, just checking in, and not having anything real to say. Not really caring about your life, or, pretending to care. Ask very surface level questions. You got to be very mindful of those things. Because like I said, they're attacking you. And people don't seem, it's crazy. Like, I didn't see a lot of these attacks because they were so soft. And the way they did it, they were dressed as sheep. But they were wolves. The disrespect wasn't loud in your face, calling me out my name. All the things we all know are disrespectful, are used to what is seen as disrespectful. But sometimes the disrespect is subtle. Sometimes it talks like this and smiles like this, and makes you feel good. Oh Lord, I just winked at you guys. Just wink at you like this. I don't know why I did that. Guys will get you, man. I've had guys do that to me. That's why I imitated just that. A little wink. That little wink will mess you up for life. Sometimes. It's just like, now I see it as very weird, and I steer clear of it. But yeah, you gotta pinpoint those signs. You gotta dismiss them. So I said, old boyfriends, old colleagues, out of the blue, In the past they did something crazy to you. They stole money. They didn't have your back in a certain situation. Threw you completely out the bus, and now all of a sudden they want to call you because you're getting your stuff together and you're learning how to communicate with your team on a project where people actually respond to you in a way that's healthy and want to help you and want to be a part of your team. Now those old people who disrespect you want to be a part of your team, and you got to be mindful of those people. And I'm not saying to block these people out completely, but you gotta set up boundaries. You gotta set up some type of boundary where you're not gonna feed into their BS and go back to that old person that you were and allow them to use, abuse, whatever. Again, you can't allow that. But if you're working with somebody, if y'all work together, you gotta, talk to them, you gotta work with them. Strictly work with them. Make it strictly about business. Don't let anything personal slide in. Right? That's the way to be. Gotta put up boundaries, man, because when you don't have boundaries, man, people will walk all over you. They'll attack you. And you have to evolve, man. You can't let people come and hurt you like that, because you're meant to be so great. You're meant to be so much more. Anyways, so old boyfriends, old girlfriends, old business partners, old colleagues, also distant family members that just come up the blue and start wanting to reminisce and catch up. Family members and friends, people you thought were your friends, that did some crazy-ish, that come to you and want favors, want to love on you. Just like you gotta laugh at these things. People get so upset and people are like, how dare you try me now? It's just what nice, like, what makes you think you can come back into my life? You're insane. But you gotta play it off. You gotta play chess, not checkers. You gotta understand people. That's another thing. When you understand people, no type of attack will affect you that bad. Because if you know people's nature, you know it's natural for them to act a certain way. So you're not gonna get upset. You're gonna take the higher road. You're gonna learn. You're gonna speak to them in a way that doesn't completely shut them off, tell them off and disrespect them, call them out their name. You don't match energies. You level up. You exude the most positive energy in the situation. But also have the don't F with me attitude in the back of it. Also have the boundaries set behind you. Say it with a smile. Say it with a smile. I've said this in so many spaces as well. Like, sometimes there's roaches out there, right? And then there's butterflies. But sometimes to get what you want, you gotta treat the roaches like butterflies. You gotta talk to them like they're special. Not saying that they actually are, but just hype them up a little bit and make them feel special right before you step on them. Right before you step on them. Right before you spray the bug repellent. It's all a process, man. It's all a process. But as long as you're sticking with the process and not giving up when it gets hard, you're gonna make it through. You're gonna be okay. Becoming a shark when you used to be, I don't know, what? A jellyfish. It's gonna be hard. So that's a big transition. But you gotta be patient with yourself enough and want it enough in order to get it. Evolving is such a beautiful thing, man. And if you saw what the best self that you look like is at the end of this rainbow, you would have no problem working for it because it's just that great. We're learning all through lives, we're evolving all through lives, but there's a peak I think that everybody hits where like you're good, you're not toxic. Yeah, you make some mistakes here and there, but for the most part, you're a great individual. You know what you're doing. You know how to communicate. You know how to apologize when you're wrong. You know how to talk to people in a way that they want to hear you. They want to listen to you. It's the most beautiful type of person. You have so much power. So you got power all the time. People that know how to talk to people are powerful. Those are the businessmen that make millions of dollars. Those are the people who run this country. Everybody's great speakers. Our presidents were, well, some of them, right? But that was a big deal. They knew how to speak in a manner that drew you in. Former President Barack Obama was a great speaker. I was watching a YouTube video. It was showing like how he pauses sometimes when people don't usually pause in sentences. He did that in his speeches, and that was genius because those pauses made people made people more intrigued to hear what he's about to say. I wish I could imitate it. I probably could, but I don't want to do it right now. But yeah, man, when you have that, when you've evolved completely, you're a butterfly. You're the most beautiful thing, floating around free. You're gonna forget about all the uncomfortable, all the times you were uncomfortable, all the pain you went through. It's all gonna be worth it for you at the end. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're going through this evolving stage, this uncomfortable stage. And remember, you're just being tested. But just plan to pass the test. You may fail a couple times in between. I know I have. I'm still failing tests. But I'm willing to take the test over again until I pass, no matter how many times I gotta take it. And I'm telling myself, I'm 26. I'm not gonna keep failing this test till I'm 46. It's gonna happen. But like I said, I'm patient with myself because I'm unlearning my programming. I'm unlearning a person that I've been my whole life. So it's gonna take some time. But it's like when you know better, you gotta do better. And I'm encouraging everybody out there that knows better to do better. Don't be lazy. Don't, not want to do things just because your friends aren't, or that they tell you not to, and your family feels weird about you now speaking out about things you normally don't. You I don't know, moving cross country like I did, and wanting to out of the country and wanting to experience different cultures, experience different languages. Don't let people scare you into remaining the same. Change is a part of life. Trying to fight it is like trying to fight death. It's bound to happen, but do you want to change for the better or change for the worse? Because even though if you still remain in the old you, your age changes though. You go from a 30-year-old to a 45-year-old with the same mindset. But it's like nobody has grace for you now. You're a 30-year-old beautiful woman now. You're pushing 50. And everybody's like, oh, well, you don't get away with the same stuff you did at 30. And you're like, what is happening? You aged. You changed. For guys, it's a different story. Anyway, when guys don't change their mindset into, wanting better and doing better and, making more money. That's an example. They remain broke their whole lives. They remain not respected their whole lives. Having women walk all over them because they're like, you have nothing to offer. And they're right. We gotta evolve. We gotta become better. Not for anybody else, but for ourselves. For ourselves, for our kids, for their kids, and so on. Because it's a pattern. It's a pattern. So, take the time and look at your life and ask yourself, are you in this evolving phase? Are you sitting back and experiencing attack after attack? People just doing you dirty, coming up out of nowhere, scamming you on rent prices. It might be because something great for you is coming. So much greater than you could ever imagine. It's a great that those people doing you wrong, doing you dirty, trying to keep you being your own self are never going to experience. Well, at least while they're being them, their current selves. Another thing, people who haven't evolved, those are people you can pinpoint almost dang near immediately. Like you can tell how they speak. Are they happy about life? Are they passive aggressive? They're toned. They're defensive about things they shouldn't be defensive about. You gotta avoid being around those people and not take those people and not care about what those people feel about you or say about you, because those type of people, like I said, are miserable. And you don't want to become a part of that community. It's the worst. Trust me. I speak from experience, guys. And like I said, I'm in this evolving phase. I am nothing but happy. I don't have to worry about money. My hair is longer. My teeth are white. My skin is clear. Things just awesome. Like when you're evolving, you get better in life too. You look better. And like all those things become better, like your money, your skin, your hair, your nails. For women, like that's a thing too. That's a good sign. But anyway, I say all this to say, guys, attacks are coming. And attacks are probably here for a lot of you guys. I'm sure a lot of people that are watching my videos are like me or experience things that I've experienced. And yeah, evolving is a beautiful thing. But we got to see it as beautiful. It's all about perspective. We got to see it as beautiful. Even in the worst of times, to really appreciate the extra, how much more beautiful it is when you get to your destination. It's like, wow, I really got prepared for this. This is like, these tests are preparing you for passing. Just like these tests lawyers take, they prepare you to be a great lawyer. These tests in life, the devil, God, life, they're all set up for you to win. Remember that. Remember that when you're going through tough times. And also sit back, and if you're alone in a space, I just hope if you like the person you are right now, the things you do, would you be okay with the things you do to others? Would you be okay with them being done to you? And if the answer is yes, then you're good. You're evolving. Okay? Alright. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment always. I love to hear you guys' feedback. You guys have been commenting a lot lately. I love it. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next video, okay? I love you guys. Take care. All right, bye.